Well, for many of us humans out there, Easter means indulgence, chocolates, sweets, as much as we can shove into our face as possible. Here's a warning. Before treating your four-legged members of the family, be warned. And this, I mean from the bottom of my heart, be warned. Chocolate can kill your pet. Dr. Guy Fyvie is here to reinforce that warning. Guy, thank you so much, Doc, for joining us again and bringing the Easter Bunny with you. But this, I actually had no idea, was such a dire warning and consequence of what seems like a very harmless treat.
Absolutely. For humans, it's no problem. Chocolate has something called theobromides in it, and theobromide for pets, they can't handle it like we do. It allows us to become addicted to chocolate, but for them it can be fatal.
And of course, they don't get to benefit from the rush of endorphins to their head like we do.
Well, yeah.
So take me through that physical process. What's actually happening in the dog that makes it so poisonous?
All right, so what will happen in the dog is you're going to see symptoms of vomiting and diarrhea, and that's probably more from the fat and the sugars in the chocolate, but there's also some stimulation from the theobromide. What else happens is they battle to breathe, their heartbeat will go up, and they become very anxious. And then they will also have seizures, and potentially their heart can stop beating.
What do we do if, and we know that dogs will often take a chance, they are compulsive eaters.
Absolutely.
You know, how do we intervene, or what do we do if we suspect?
So the first thing to do is to obviously make sure you don't let them get to it. And I think importantly, don't feed them chocolate, because they will then become used to the idea that they can eat it. So if you've seen that your animal's eaten it, certainly if it's dark chocolate, any amount of dark chocolate, you should be contacting your vet. If it's milk chocolate, they can handle a bit more of it, but the smaller the dog, obviously, the less they can handle. So just for example, Bob, 1 square of very dark chocolate, of cooking chocolate, would be enough to put him over the edge.
Oh, shame. Now you got Bob worried there. Don't worry, boy. We're just using you as an example. Okay, so we know that there are dire consequences for that kind of slip-up. We've got no need to be treating our dogs with those sorts of treats when there are healthy options available. Where do we begin when constructing a healthy diet for our pets?
So I think the important thing with treats is to realize that they should not be the main part of the diet. They shouldn't make up more than 5 or 10% of the daily intake of energy. Otherwise, we can have a problem. So the best is obviously to take some of their normal food and use that as the treat. And I think the important thing to realize about treating is that it's more about the interaction with the animal than the nutritional value that they're getting. So the smaller the treat, the better it is.
Okay, you're reinforcing that ritual of that.
Absolutely, the interaction, that's really what it's about. So when we look at that, obviously good quality treats like the ideal balanced treats that go with the food are properly balanced. Other than that, we can look at low calorie things like cucumber, carrots, beans, and rice cakes also.
I thought this was for me.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. But what I'm seeing here is a difference in texture, something that's interesting to eat, something that actually stands out and is obviously going to make the dog take notice of that moment.
Absolutely, and you know, really, it's about the bond between the human and the animal.
So now, yeah, I must say, I often use our little coral keys here. You had a bit of a trick there with these guys as well.
All right, so these are the soft baked treats, and the great thing about them is that you can break them. So that you can really, you know, for example, that piece of treat is the same as that to Bob. You know, he's getting a treat, whether it's that much or that much, and this has got a lot less calories, so less likely to put on the Easter weight.
Yes, and Bobby has to look dapper in his tuxedo. Hey, boy. And how does that taste? He loved that. So it really does boil down to just being a bit more conscious about what you are feeding your pet and the overall nutritional value. And a treat doesn't necessarily mean a meal. That you've got to take that into account. Don't feed them a whole bag of treats.
Absolutely. I mean, if you're going to feed them a whole bag of treats, it defeats the object of you might as well be feeding a properly balanced food as well. And you know, obesity is one of the biggest issues that we have with our pets. So we really need to be sure that we don't allow them to become overweight.
Because it impacts on the quality of their life.
Absolutely. It increases the chances that they get everything from arthritis to heart failure to kidney failure. Certainly it doesn't improve their life.
Oh, well, you see, stick to your healthy diet, guys, and you'll be all right. So I hope you've taken that as a very stern warning, not to be all somber. It is Easter. We want to be able to enjoy this time with our family. Just make sure that you look after your pets and that no chocolate makes its way into your pet's system, because it is poisonous. But that doesn't stop us, though. We can still indulge this Easter.
Introducing New Hills Ideal Balance. It has the right natural ingredients. Every ingredient adds to your pet's best health. New Hills Ideal Balance. 100% balanced nutrition guaranteed.